We've got problems, folks. Multiple problems. We have a disease that is being spread. My air conditioning just stopped working yesterday. Hopefully it's an electrical issue. Rax the Great came over because he's a good person and he lives close by. He's an electrician. He looked at things. He thinks he figured it out. I had to go to Home Depot this morning to purchase a part, and he will be installing it this afternoon to hopefully rectify my air conditioner situation. Rax's channel is in the description box down below. Go throw him a subscription for helping me out. But that's not the only problem that's going on here. The disease is back. And I don't think the disease ever fully left. You know, I've done a better job of ignoring it because it's a disease where nobody is ever satisfied. You know, it's always the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. You get a presentation from Nintendo. When's the next one? Here's rumors on the next one. Like literally the next day, you start to hear about stuff like this. We recently got an Indie World presentation that was postured as a Nintendo Direct and ended up being an Indie World presentation. We recently got a Nintendo Direct presentation for Kirby Air Riders, 45 minutes. When it probably should have been like 15 to 20 minutes, but that's just my personal opinion on it. But the disease is now fully backed because Nintendo Direct in September, whoopity-doo. Is there one? Is there two? Is there three? Is there seven? Who knows? Who knows? And it's the talk of the town, so we're going to talk about it as well. This came out from Video Games Chronicle this morning. Sorry if it's hard to read because they have lots of ads on their thing. I can go ad-free if I support them on Patreon. No thank you. A Nintendo Direct is reportedly planned for mid-September. A Metroid Prime 4 release date is expected soon as the game is rated around the world. A Nintendo Direct presentation is reportedly planned for September. Reports of a Nintendo Direct have circulated for weeks. Now, Switch Force has suggested that the presentation will be held in September. And Switch Force obviously talked about the Indie World before that ended up happening, even though it was postured as a Nintendo Direct. They also talked about Resident Evil 9 being playable for the Nintendo Switch 2 at Gamescom. That didn't happen, but, you know, maybe they know something about this. And then you scroll down here. Sources have told VGC that a Nintendo Direct presentation is, in fact, planned for mid-September. It's also worth noting that aside from 2024, a Nintendo Direct has been held virtually every September since the Nintendo Direct presentations began. So, obviously, 2024, kind of a weird year, transitional year. They weren't ready to fully showcase off the Switch 2 yet or anything like that. So, is it really a big surprise that a Direct is happening in September? Not really, but allegedly this will be happening. Notably, if the reported September 12th date is accurate, it would be one day before the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. So that September 12th date comes to us from Switch Force. So if you believe what he is saying, there will be a Direct on September 12th, and that is one day before the 40th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. While the contents of the presentation are currently unknown, it is likely that the Nintendo Direct will finally reveal the announcement of Metroid Prime 4's Beyond release date. The game, which is still officially planned for this year, was recently rated by the ESRB. This is the latest major ratings board to cover the game, following the news from July that South Korea's classification board had also rated it. Nintendo published the latest Metroid Prime 4 trailer in March. According to the trailer, the game was still planned to be released for the Switch and Switch 2 sometime this year. They also did a Kirby presentation last week with Kirby Air Riders, 45 minutes, blah, blah, blah. So the gist of this, God, these ads are crazy. The gist of this is that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct in September. Wow! That's never happened before. But here's where things get kind of murky for me. Here's where things get interesting, because we have talked about several different things within this own news story. You know, we've talked about one day before Super Mario Bros. 40th anniversary. We've talked about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond needing a release date, and, you know, a general consensus of, okay, well, what's next for Nintendo. It seems like their holiday lineup is pretty much planned out with games like Kirby Air Riders and, of course, Pokemon Legends ZA being the pack-in game for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I'm not necessarily expecting any sort of like big holiday announcements or anything like that. But what I do find interesting is that there have been rumors circulating that there's going to be potentially 3 Nintendo Directs. A Nintendo Direct for Mario's 40th anniversary, a Nintendo Direct for Metroid Prime 4, and a Nintendo Direct that is a general Nintendo Direct. Now, recently we've had things like Indie Worlds, partner showcases, and individual game directs for games like Kirby Air Riders. And I think the Kirby Air Riders Direct was, it was just too long for like one game for a lot of people. Like, I don't know, maybe if you're a super diehard Kirby Air Rider fan from the GameCube, which wasn't the greatest game in the world to begin with, don't get mad at me. Go back and play the game. It's a local couch co-op game that was fun, but, it wasn't all that great. You kind of got to wonder, would Nintendo want to do a full-on direct for Metroid Prime 4? What are they going to do for Mario's 40th anniversary? Are they going to do something gaming related for Mario's 40th anniversary? You got to realize Mario has expanded far beyond games. You have things like the Mario movie. You could do something related to that, like show the first look trailer. They showed some wooden blocks and some other crap for Mario's 40th so far. Like, I don't think it's necessarily a foregone conclusion that you see something like we saw with the 35th anniversary. The 35th anniversary, of course, had Mario 3D All-Stars consisting of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. If they were to go to that route again, like, what do you add to it? Like Galaxy 2 and then what? Maybe an offshoot game or something like that. Like, there's not much that they can really dive into the well from with 3D Mario games to do another 3D All-Star Collection. Now, they could do, like remasters of some of the DS games and then include Galaxy 2. They could not include Galaxy 2, but does that need a full-on presentation? Would this kind of be like a Pokemon Presents where, 85% of it is just crap that has nothing to do with video games, and then the video game stuff kind of takes a back seat to everything else? And then, of course, you have the whole other side of the coin with the general Nintendo Direct. Could Nintendo cover Metroid Prime 4, Super Mario's 40th anniversary, and the general Direct being other Nintendo games and other third-party games during this presentation, and it ends up just being one thing? Like, sure, they could do that as well. I just don't think it's like a groundbreaking revolution or realization that Nintendo is probably going to do something in September. Like, you got to start talking about first quarter Switch 2 games. You got to imagine there's going to be some stuff coming from Nintendo during the first quarter. And I guess Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment looks to be slipping to 2026. And we'll probably get a confirmation of that release date during this direct presentation. But I don't know, man. It's just every time there's a direct or a Nintendo showcase, it's like within hours, people are talking about the next one. People are talking about the next one. People are talking about the next one. And I get it, but it's like, have you taken time to appreciate what we've gotten so far? Have you taken time to play some of the games that you're interested in? Or if you've played them, have you had time to finish them? Like, I just feel like direct culture is such a disease at this point in time. Like, it's crazy. And let me be clear. I want there to be 7 Nintendo Directs in September. You know why? Because that is money in my pocket covering these events. That's some of the best coverage to do, because you just look at the games that are presented or the information that is presented, and then you just give your thoughts and opinions on it. I love doing stuff like that. It's so much fun to me. But I also don't think it's realistic to think that there's going to potentially be multiple Directs. But there could be. It's a dealer's choice with this. I could come on here and say, yeah, I've heard there's a September Direct. I'm hearing some Metroid-related stuff. There might be some Mario stuff. It's a little unclear. And, that's just a safe bet. That's a safe guess. I think if the date does end up being September 12th, then you could kind of have a little bit more of a discussion as far as how this information is getting out there. But I don't know, man. It's cool if it happens. Cool if it doesn't. There's a bunch of games coming out that I'll be playing, so my time will be busy anyways. But what do you think about the Nintendo Direct disease that has been affecting Nintendo fans for it's decades now. We're getting into the decades plus territory with this, and it's just like, calm down, dude. Enjoy the games that you have. Play some of the games that you have. Finish some of the games that you have, because I'm sure you have it, pal. I'm sure you have it. So give me your thoughts and considerations in the comment section down below. Also, your thoughts and prayers for my air conditioner. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video, hopefully with air conditioning fixed. Later.